Hello viewers, welcome to Great Online Training.
I am Ranjit and today I will show you how to write R and SAS code interchangeably. So very excited, and first of all I will show you the window of R and SAS, right? So let's jump in. So this is the SAS software. If you see, there are multiple windows here. The first is editor. Whatever the code we'll write in this editor window, and after the execution it will appear into a log, right? So log basically gives the real-time execution and the error if we have error in our code, right? And whatever the result will appear, that will appear into a output or result window, right? And there is one another window here, that is Explorer. So it contains the library, different working directory or library, right? And some other locations. Maybe we can just check that. So this PC we can call the file or code from any locations, right? So let's jump to the R outline. Yes, so this is the R Studio. Here I'm using R Studio, not R, because it is very easy to write code in R Studio than R, right? So if you see here, we have 4 windows. The top left window is editor window, and the top left is console. So in editor we'll write code, and after the execution of a line it will appear into a console window, right? It will show error, or it will show whether the variable is whether the line of code is working or not, right? And whatever the variables and datasets will create here, it will appear into an environment window, that is a top right window, right? And if you see top bottom, here we have plots, files, packages, help, and viewers, right? So we'll see each and every function gradually, right? So this was just an outline, and now I jump to setting of working directly and getting the working directory. So basically in R, so R has a unique locations where it saves all the data, files, and codes, right? So let's check whether is our or what is our working directory. So for that, let me write here in the editor window. So for that, the keyword is get wd and then parenthesis. Then after that we have to press Control Enter, or you have to press here the run button. Okay, so just press Control Enter. So this is the location. So by default it uses the C drive path, right? But maybe we can change that path into a different location, right? So for this demonstration I have saved my code or dataset at a different location. So I will save that as a working directory, right? So for changing the working directory, we have a keyword set wd, right? And in the parentheses we have to write the address or location. So let's go to the data. Yes, so this is the location I wanted to set. Okay, so we have to change this into a /. Okay, and then after that we have to put the whole path into a double quotes. Okay, so just press Control Enter. Okay, so just check whether it's set or not. Yes, so now my working directory is set to D drive and R training folder and the location data, right? So now I am good to go. So let's check how to define the library in SAS. So first of all, I'll split the window so that it will be easier for us to see what is going on. Okay, so let's open the editor. SAS basically works and save all the datasets into a library named work, right? So whatever the real-time data set that you create or variable you create, it will save into a work library, right? But we can define library using the function or keyword libname. So libname, then we have to specify the library name. Suppose I'm writing demo, and then here we have to specify the location. Okay, so let's check in here. We have this folder. Okay, so I want to define one library named demo, and I'm assigning the location, right? So there are a few data sets here I'm planning to import into SAS, right? So just run. So in SAS we have to press F3 function, F3 button, or here the running symbol to execute that code, right? So for execution, let me select the line and then press the running button. Okay, so this is good to go. And if you see here in the library, there is one library created named demo, right? So if I open, so there are a few data sets I kept here for the demonstration purposes. So we'll see each and every data set gradually and see the variables, what it means, and which data set it is, right? So okay, now we'll talk about some basic of variable nomenclature, right? How we'll name the variable in R and similarly in SAS. So let's talk first in SAS. So SAS has SAS variable must have 33 character long, right? So it should not exceed 33 character, right? But there is no restriction in R, right? In R we may have multiple or more than 256. So earlier it was 256, the maximum length of the variable, but they extended up to a 10,000 factorial, right, character. So, and the second part is the first character must be an English letter, that is from A to Z, right? And then after that you can write underscore or digit we can use after that. But in SAS we can start the variable name with underscore, but that functionality is not there in R. So R, we cannot name the variable starting from underscore, right? So the underscore may come after some letter, right? But it cannot be at the starting of the variable name, right? And also the special character cannot be used in both the languages, right? Like at the rate or some other special symbols like star, dollar, right? And there are few automatic variable that SAS usually creates, like an n underscore n, character underscore character, numeric underscore numeric, underscore all underscore. So we cannot name any variable with those by default variables, right? So this is some differences in naming of variable in R and SAS, right? So almost all are same, but there are few differences. Like in R we cannot start the variable name with underscore, but in SAS we can name that. We can start the variable name with underscore. So that is the main differences. And also R is a case sensitive language, right? So we have to be cautious about the variable and the cases of the variable name, right? Uppercase, lowercase, or prop case. So we have to very cautious in R, but there is no restriction and there is no sorts of cautions that we usually have in SAS. Let's move to the data type. And in R there are 5 types of data, right? So data may be numeric, it may be character, it may be integer. Let's write integer first. Then it may be character, then it may be logical, it may be complex, right? So basically 5 type of data type we have in R, right? In SAS we usually have 2 type of data. One is numeric and other is character, right? So there are also date and time, but those are stored internally as a numeric type of data, right? So this is the main differences. So let's data type. The first is numeric, then integer, then character, then logical, and then complex, right? So let's see some examples. So let's create a numeric num, and then we have to assignment operator, and then here we write, let's suppose 4, right? And then press Ctrl Enter. Okay, so if you see here on the environment window, there is one variable num and the value is 4. So let's check the class of the variable num. Okay, So for that, we have to check, we have to write the function class CLASS and then parentheses, and in between you have to write the variable name, and then press Ctrl Enter. So if you see, this is the numeric of type numeric, right? So let's do for the integer. So for defining the integer, we have to write capital L at the end of the digit, right? So suppose I write 4, and then we have to specify capital L. Okay, so let's run that. Okay, so let's check the class of the variable int. For that, we have to use function class and then specify the variable name. Okay, so if you see, this is the integer one. So similarly, we'll define the character. So for character, we have to write this character into a double quote, right? And nil, right? Then char. So let's run the first line. Okay, so this is good. Then just check the variable char. So this is the dataset that it takes. Okay, and then just take the class. So class okay, then here we have to write char. So R is a case sensitive, so we cannot write uppercase and lowercase, right? So just check the character. So this is the character one. Similarly for logic, it contains true or maybe false. Okay, so it contains binary variable, right? So for the complex, so this is similar to a complex number. It contains one real part plus the imaginary part. Suppose for example 10 plus 4 into I, right? So whatever the data type we have, if we have similar sort of structure, so this may be called as complex data type, right? So let's move to the SAS and see how we'll create the variable. Okay, so in SAS there are some differences. So here we have to write the data lines. Let me remove the uppercase data. Then we have to specify the name, suppose demo, and then set we have to write the in file or input. Okay, so here we have to specify the variable. Suppose I'm creating the name should be character, so I'm writing dollar here. Then age should be numeric, so no dollar is required. Then suppose sex, so I'm saving male and female, so this must be characters. And after that we have to write data lines. Okay, then semicolon, and then we have to specify the data set. So first variable, maybe suppose I wanted to write Anil, then age 21, and then male. Okay, so Emily 22, female. Okay, so Andrew 24, male. Okay, Zia 28, female. Okay, suppose. Okay, and then after that we have to write run. Okay, so let's run the line of data step, and for running in SAS we have to use this submit button, or we can use F3 keys from the keyboard. Okay, so just press the F submit. Yeah, there is no error here. So let's check the data set. So for checking this data set, I already told that whatever the data set will create, it will by default save into a working library, right? So let's open the demo. Yeah, here if you see, the name type of the variable is character. Okay, so if you see, type of the variable is character, and then if you see the age, this is numeric, then sex, this is character, right? So that is the basic differences in R and SAS. So in R we can create individual variables, right? But in SAS it creates the data sets, right? So yeah, one data set may have different types of variable. Like if you see, the name is character, age is numeric, and sex is character, right? But in R, we can create the data set, and also we can create the individual variables of a different type, right? So in R, we can create a variable or a vector, right, of a similar character, right? So if we have, if we wanted to create a numeric, so all the element of that vector must be numeric. Similarly, if we wanted to create a vector of character, so all the element of that vector must be character, right? But in dataset, we may have multiple variable, and the type of the variable may differ, right? And also in R, we must have similar length of variable, right? The data point or data lines must be same in all the variables if you wanted to create a data frame, right? I will create that part and show you. But in R, suppose one variable have 4 data point, and the other is 3, and then the next is 4. So what SAS does, it create a data of 4 data point, right? And whatever the variable where we have 3, it's stored as null, right, or dot. So in case of character, it stored as blank, and then in case of numeric, it stored as dot. Okay, so let's create data frame in R. So data frame. Okay, so for data frame, we need multiple variables. So what I'll do, I'll first create the variable name, and then we'll summarize those variables into a data frame, right? So first create the age and names. I will create the similar sort of variable name that we created in SAS. So name, so it should be character. So just write all the name here. So Anil, then comma, Emily, then Andrew, and it should be placed under double quote, right? And then Zia. Okay, so if you see the length of the this vector name, it has 4 length, right? 4 data point here: Anil, Emily, Andrew, and Zia, right? So let's create the other variable age. So we have to here also specify 4 data point, otherwise it will show error. 2, 5, then 2, 8. So I am creating age as a numeric, that's why I'm not putting the values into a double quote, right? So, and the other variable sex. Suppose here I have to create into character, so I have to put the value into double quote. So male, then female, okay, then again male, and then female. Okay, so let's do one by one. Okay, name is created, age is created, and sex is created. Perfect. So if I open the sex variable, let me open through here, writing the variable name. Yeah, if you see, these are the values that are stored under the variable sex, right? Okay, so I have created the individual variable name is 6. Now I'll create one data frame, right? Or data sets, it doesn't make much differences. So I'll create one data frame where I'll save all the variable into one, right? So suppose I'll write to data name, data set name is demo, right? So I'm assigning here, and then I'll write the data.frame function. This is a functional that we use to create the data frame, and here we have to specify the name, all variables, right, where we wanted to add here. So name, then comma sex, sorry, age, and then sex. Okay, so let's run that. Okay, this is good. Just check the data set here. So if you see, we have name, sex, and age and sex, right? So this is good to go. So we'll stop here, and maybe we'll start some other functionality next time.